In this video, we are going to talk about where to find design files to use with your laser business. We are also going to cover some basic copyright guidelines that everyone should follow. Hey there, I'm Sarah. You're watching Creative Ramblings. We talk a lot about lasers on this channel, everything from product reviews to detailed tutorials. If you are a laser user, consider subscribing. I'm sure I have some great videos that you will find helpful. So if you have a laser, and you probably do if you're here, the next big step is figuring out where do I get the designs to create with my laser. These machines can do all kinds of things, but we need to give them design files to work with first. So let's break it down a little bit here. The first thing we want to talk about is what type of files do you want to use with your laser? The best type of file to use is an SVG. This stands for Scalable Vector Graphic. These just make laser cutting really easy, and they can come in layers, so you can cut beautiful layered designs. You can change them from cutting to engraving. They're super easy to work with. You can also find PNG or JPEG files. These are images. You can upload those to some laser design softwares, but you will need to trace them in order to get a really good cut or engrave with them. So yes, you can use pictures, but there's a little bit more workaround you need to do to then make a final product. So the first step in looking for design files is to design your own. If you are a graphic designer, I am not, you can use Adobe Illustrator or Canva or whatever tools you have available to you to make your own designs, turn them into SVGs, and then put them in your laser software. To make some really basic designs, you can actually turn to the laser software itself. So for example, these are both Xtool lasers here. You can use Xtool Creative Space to find some really basic images. So they have plants and animals, a few holiday items, and a lot of shapes. And you can use these to make all kinds of different designs. A lot of other laser softwares offer that too, both WeCreate and even in Lightburn you can find some tools to make your own designs. For most of us, when creating items with our laser, we're going to want to find files that are ready-made that we can bring into the software and create with, or files that we can bring into the software and maybe add a custom name or some customization to it. So where do we get these files, and where do we find ones that are okay to use for commercial use for your business? First, a little disclaimer. I am not a copyright lawyer. I am not a copyright expert, but I've been doing this a long enough time that I have a really good understanding of basic copyright rules. If you sign up for one of the free or paid sites that I talk about, please be sure to read through all the agreements so you have your own understanding of what you are agreeing to. So let's start really basic here. What is the definition of copyright? Copyright is a type of intellectual property that the owner, the original, the designer who made it, has exclusive rights to copy, display, and distribute that piece of work. A really good example is Disney. Disney has created all of its characters, and they hold the sole copyright to display, copy, and distribute their artwork, their movies, their merch, anything they want to make. We, as regular people, do not have access to Disney copyrighted materials or designs to display or distribute. Copyright mostly applies to items that you are going to use, create, and then sell. So for example, you found a Cinderella that you really liked, and you want to engrave it on a tumbler, and then you want to sell that tumbler. That's a big no-no. That is clear and blatant copyright infringement. However, if you found an image of Cinderella and you put it on a tumbler just so you could have it for yourself and not sell it, that's a gray area. You want to be a good citizen and not do that, but technically if you're not selling it, there's not a lot of trouble you can get into. There are a host of individual artists out there who create design files. Maybe they have their own website or their own platform where they're going to sell design files on. They're going to hold their own copyright, and most of the time they're going to have something written in a description or an agreement somewhere telling you what kind of copyright they have. So an individual artist may say that they have an item, it is free for you to download, but you can only use it for personal use. If it says that, respect what it says and only use it for personal use. If they're downloading it and it says that you have full commercial rights, that means that you can make that tumbler of whatever item they gave you, and you can then go ahead and reproduce and sell it. Almost every piece of artwork out there has some type of copyright attached to it. So a big no-no, a big thing you cannot do is open up Google Images, search for what you want, click download that image, and then use it in your laser software. That is a big no-no. You are stealing an image from the original owner, so stay away from that. The other thing you want to be careful with is going on a site like Etsy, and let's say I'm looking for a really cute Cinderella image to buy on Etsy, because if I buy it, then it might be okay. As we said before, brands like Disney do not sell their copyright to anything else. If I want something Disney branded, I need to buy it from them. However, if we scroll through Etsy, you can definitely see people selling Disney files that you can then download. They are doing it illegally. So they have downloaded that and then they're selling it to me. I'm paying for it and I'm getting it illegally. So in the end, we both can get in trouble for using those images. So with all that being said, that can be a little scary. Where do you find design files to use that aren't copyrighted? So you can look to individual artists, you can look to places like Etsy, but stay away from things that are branded. So NFL teams, NBA teams, Disney, Marvel, Nickelodeon, things that have these big giant brands, they probably aren't selling the copyright license to individual artists. They're just not doing it. Sometimes your best bet for finding legit images is finding a reputable company that acts as a platform for artists to sell their designs on. That is my go-to. I'm going to share 3 of those with you. These are 3 places you can find legit design files with a commercial license. The first site and my favorite, my go-to site that I use for design files is Creative Fabrica. This is a platform that offers you millions of design files and fonts and images for sublimation, all kinds of things. They are a platform for artists and creators to put their work onto and then sell. Creative Fabrica works on a subscription basis, so you can sign up for an annual membership, just roughly $49 a year, and you get full access with a commercial license to everything they offer. Sounds fantastic. It is fantastic, but they have a very clear subscription license that we should take a look at. So let's take a look at that. This is a very clear subscription license from Creative Fabrica, and they offer you a great summary right here on what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. So you can use their digital products to create a physical end product. So you can download a graphic, you can add a custom name to it, and you can go ahead and make a dozen tumblers and then sell them. What you cannot do is download a design file and then sell it as your own. So they very clearly walk you through everything you can and cannot do here. They even, if we go down further, they give you examples of how you could download an item and then what you can and can't do with it. The key to remember about Creative Fabrica is this bottom point on the right here, is that you need an active subscription to use the commercial license for these files. So if I had a commercial license in 2023 and I downloaded a whole bunch of items, but then I didn't renew it for 24, I no longer have access to use and sell those items. So this is one of the reasons you should always read that licensing agreement before you start selling items. The next site I really like is Design Bundles. It operates a lot like Creative Fabrica does. They offer you bundles of designs around themes. They have a paid subscription model, or you can purchase the items one by one. Very similar subscription license agreement, so be sure to read it before you download. The third and final option is Etsy. We have all heard of Etsy. It is a huge platform for both digital products and the end physical products that people have made. Etsy is a place where you can search for Disney's Cinderella and find a digital graphic to download and use in your laser software. Doesn't mean it's legal, but it is there. I get the sense that Etsy doesn't scrub their site often enough to catch everyone who is violating copyright. So if you find something on Etsy you really like, do your homework and make sure that you have the rights to use that image. But if you honestly just stay away from branded stuff and look for cute original designs by artists, Etsy is a great place to look. The 3 sites I mentioned were Creative Fabrica, Design Bundles, and Etsy. Out of those 3, I use Creative Fabrica all the time. Again, roughly $49 a year if you pay annually. You're gonna get access to almost everything they have. So you can find that link down in the description if you want to check it out. There is a free trial, or you can just dive right in and get that annual membership. So hopefully we covered enough today to give you an idea of where to find design files for your laser and some basic copyright information so you don't get yourself in trouble when you're creating your awesome projects. If you found this video helpful, if you like what you saw here, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I am here every week with brand new videos helping you move forward in your creative journey. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.